Thank you so much for handing it over to me. Hi, I'm Savana White, and today I'm here with Rolland Mays, and we're here to talk about the Black History Month panel and just Black History Month in general, since MVTHS is going above and beyond this year.
Very good, very good. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Savannah.
Thank you so much for being here. It's awesome to have the famous Rolland Mays here to interview.
I feel honored. Thank you.
So you've had a really long career here in music education and just being here at MVTHS. So why did you choose this career?
My orchestra director when I was in high school, and I am an alumni of Mount Vernon Township High School, Tal Smith, took an interest in me and saw that I did have a talent. Didn't have that much money to afford going to music camps during the summer and everything, so he would find the funds for me to go my junior and my senior year to SIU Carbondale for a week-long music camp. And while at those music camps, I discovered that yes, I do have an interest in music, and I can play well. So I had a couple of friends who are also in the orchestra at Mount Vernon High School, and they were going to SIU. And so the orchestra director's son was one of my best friends. So his dad helped get me a scholarship down to SIU. And in the process of what I had learned during the summer music camps in my freshman year at SIU was repetitious of what I had done in the music camp. So I was basically ahead of the rest of the class. So I said, well, maybe let me see if I want to go ahead and to pursue this. Then as a junior, I was given the opportunity to teach at Carbondale High School, even though I did not have certification to teach. But they were looking for a black person to help rejuvenize the music department at the high school, and they wanted a certain grade point average. First of all, you had to be a black person or African American to qualify for this, because they wanted to incorporate this group of people into the program. So there were 5 seniors who were music majors, and you had to be a music major, excuse me, and there were 5 music majors, but none of the 5 met the grade point average. So they decided to go down into the junior class, and I had the highest grade point average. So they offered me the job, and I said, well, if I want to be a music teacher, this is an opportune time. I'm still a junior in college. If it doesn't work out, then I can change my major. So that's the rest of it is history. I'm here at Mount Vernon Township High School.
Seems like you had some really good supports from that teacher. I definitely understand from that standpoint, and I'm doing something similar myself. But since this is the last day of Black History Month, today is the last day of Black History Month, and the school's going to be holding, actually today, you said at 1:20 or 1:30?
Well, we're asking that people come to the theater by 1:20. We anticipate starting at 1:30. Again, it's open to the student body with permission from their counselor. If they were to get that permission, it would be treated as a field trip. So we're going to start at 1:30.
Yeah, so that panel that's going on, and it's how I read somewhere that it's about Black history, Black art, so they've kind of set up G-Wing with all of that. In a way, it's sort of about Black future. What would that kind of look like to you? The students that you see in the music and in G-Wing in general, what do you see them as, and you go, that's definitely the future of Black culture and African American culture?
Well, first of all, you have to know where you've been to go to where you want to be. And that's what the panel, some of these are going to be some life experiences, not projecting any fault of anybody, but this is what Rolland Mays has experienced as being a lifetime resident of Mount Vernon, Illinois. Michelle Williams as a lifetime person from Atlanta, Georgia area, and the other ones coming from their prospective places. Robert Brown, who was a counselor here, he has some stories to also tell. And then to expand on, okay, this is what we hope the young folks will venture out and go on into different professions. Because number one, everybody does not have to be a college grad. There are trades that African Americans can get involved in and to pursue a nice, living and everything else. So, just to find an interest, and then to continue on in that direction. But you have to, I feel that if you had a role model, that you can emulate, then that in itself will give you some kind of direction, especially if you have a conversational atmosphere where that person can come and say, well, Mr. Mays, what do you think about it, blah, 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 blah. Is it worth pursuing? And then I can give my opinion, but it's up to you to accept, or not necessarily to accept it, but to weigh it, if this is the way that I would like to go.
And you've talked about like the opinions and stuff, and it's kind of going to be more of like kind of a bit of an all-over panel, but it's definitely a really good discussion from what you've told me so far. What is kind of the overall point you guys really want to get across with this panel?
That there had been so many contributions that were given to the world, first of all, not just these United States of America. Charles Drew, blood plasma. Just for instance, Catherine Fisher with Nassau, just to name a few that are worldwide. And then with the experiences that we have here, to go forward with that. I don't know if I exactly answered your question there, Savannah.
No, I think it works really well. It talks about what it is, and like I said, it's how you've described it is a very fluid, conversational kind of panel. So it can really go in all kinds of different directions for different things to focus on.
And there will be, at the end, we want to allow some time for questions and answers, and hopefully we can get some substantial questions, first of all, from anyone from the panel, because we come from a wide variety geographical areas.
So is there anything really specifically that you personally want to hit on in this panel today?
For me, I don't know if it's common knowledge, but I teach 2 classes in music here at the high school, and then I've been a part of the music department this is my 36th year here. And I am the only Black African American certified teacher with 2 classes. I would like to see or have more people to come back to this area and to teach, because if there are more people that look like me that you can relate to, then that in itself is a plus. Going back to the African American or Black history, there were so many things that I did not know until I became a teacher, until I took some classes down at SIU, like jazz and stuff like that. And my bass teacher was Black. That I had no idea. I was in the last segregated class in Mount Vernon, Illinois, at Washington School. Many people don't even know that Mount Vernon had segregated schools. I was in the last class in 1962. And it was Washington School. I did not know, and I'm going to talk about this today, who my school was named after. I had a white world history teacher, Mrs. Silas Eccles, who asked me one day, you know what the name of your school, who was named after? And I proudly said, yes, first president of the United States, George Washington. And she said, no. I was a sophomore at Mount Vernon Township High School, and she told me Booker T. Washington. So I think that, you know, we should know where we've come from before we can say, okay, I need to go from here. You know, I was forced to learn the different ethnic groups of history that relevance to me, no. But I had to learn it, you know, to go on educationally. So that's what we're hoping. That's what my hopes are. That if I can instill in somebody to go into an education profession, or some profession where you can help people. It's not just black and white and all. You can help people, and in that process, learn something about a different culture. That's the hopes of today.
Yeah, it's really to like diversify, like not just education, but in different fields and such as well.
Yeah, yes, of course.
And talking about diversity, we've heard about something recently that is starting to start up. But Mr. King and I believe Nurse Shayla Tracy are actually starting to. They're trying to get a black student union group started, and we wanted to know what your thoughts would be about that.
Well, first of all, as in teaching 2 classes, I'm not a privy to everything that goes on at Mount Vernon Township High School, because I also teach at Field Consolidated School in Texaco, in Dix area. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I leave to go there to teach. This is the first that I'm hearing of it. Yes, you know, I'm all for it. The involvement is the main thing. You know, want people to be in a positive situation of involvement.
Yeah, we had only just heard about it Monday, and I thought it'd be a really interesting topic to bring up to you, since it would be a...
Well, thank you for informing me.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, and because of not only just teaching out at Field School, I'm in the process of doing my 35th musical, Little Mermaids, so that takes every day of my time, so.
I absolutely bet you must be quite the busy man.
I am quite busy.
Yeah, and this student unit obviously hasn't happened yet, but they're in the works of getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you think that if they had gone through fully with this and it gets fully approved and such, how do you think both this and the panel could looking for
Different relations.
How could this impact and affect our community? Like, what do you think it will bring to our community?
Hopefully, and I know, Tracy, that a lot of thought and preparation is given to this effort, because if it's this is the first time that it's coming about. We did a panel some years ago similar to what we're doing today, but what these other people are doing, just prepare yourself. Make sure you cross all the T's and dot all the I's, and be ready to address certain questions, because they will come.
So is there any last thing that you'd like to say, or anything last minute that you'd really like to talk about that I haven't covered yet?
I just want to commend many of the teachers here at Mount Vernon Township High School who have taken upon themselves to do something in regards to Black History Month. Because from what my students told me at the old school, that I was the only teacher, and I teach music, that was doing anything with Black History Month. But now in talking to my students, they're telling me that there are several teachers at the school who are not only addressing the month of Black history, but are doing some very valuable things, educational, that not only just Black people did not understand or knew nothing of it. Many of our Caucasian or white had no idea that this happened. And I know, especially in my classes, it's like, oh gosh, I didn't know that a Black person invented this. So
it's definitely that learning aspect. Last year in like May, I believe it was, we had that trip to the Smithsonian of like African American history and stuff.
Yes.
I was actually on that trip.
Were you?
Yes, it was
great.
Incredible. It really opened my eyes. So I definitely understand what you say whenever you're like.
And we're going to do another one. I wasn't able to go to that when I had a prior engagement, but this year in May, they're going to do another one, and I hope to be in attendance with that.
It's definitely a
I heard
really,
good
really
positive things about the last
it was
trip.
really great. It was a great learning experience for everybody. Seeing just everything in the museum, some of it was quite scary, to be honest, but that kind of comes with the history.
Mm-hmm.
It happens, and it's good to like look at these things and say this is a real thing that happened.
Mm-hmm.
It isn't just some made up story, or it isn't exaggerated. This is real.
This is real.
It was incredible because we also were watching. We watched a couple of movies about Black history, specifically like remaking certain life events. I feel really bad for not remembering the name, but it was the little boy who was killed whenever he went up to Chicago.
Emmett Till.
Emmett Till, yes, the movie Till, because they had a special exhibit for Emmett Till where you were not allowed to be on your phone during it, nothing, and it was really intimate and really detailed. All the photos were there. It felt so, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I definitely understand like the education aspect of it. If this is to anybody who's possibly going this year, please go. It is life-changing. It is a huge trip, and it's so worth it.
And the Emmett Till thing did not happen during slavery times. This happened in the 1950s.
Yeah, that's another thing, is like some of the things of like the history didn't even happen during slavery time. It just was after the fact. It's a really great learning experience, though. The person we had with us, he was really awesome. He kept us all going. We'd gone to so many other places as well besides the Smithsonian. It really opens your eyes and shows you where certain people have walked and shows you what they went through and such. So we know that you're really busy, especially with your, operetta?
Yes, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the operetta this year with Little Mermaid, with it being your like 35th. I thought it was. Your 35th operetta, which congratulations on that.
Have done more musicals than anybody in the history of Mount Vernon Township High School.
Yeah, that's why you're the famous Mr. Mills.
Oh, too kind.
And I know you probably got a whole bunch of other stuff on your plate, but I thank you so much for finding the time, and I really hope you have a great day after this.
Thank you, Savannah, for having me here.
I'm so glad to have you here too.
Yes, thank you.